My name is Louisa Brown. I'm head of Key Stage 4 Progress at the school I was working at the beginning of the process. I started off as a head of year. I've done a typical sideways thing through my career. I was head of faculty, head of performing arts, as I'm a music teacher, and I decided I wanted to go into leadership, and because I couldn't tick 20 out of 20 in the job description, 20 out of 20 in the job description, I decided I needed to learn more about the pastoral system, so I went sideways. My community project really ended up being in partnership with one of the school's most valuable resources, who's our careers advisor. We have a professional careers advisor who's not a teacher within the school, and we've been developing a careers programme over the last sort of 4 or 5 years or so that goes right through from year 7 to year 13s. But in my role as head of year, the aspect I really wanted to look at was for our year 11 and then extending back into year 10. And really the aim was to, as it says on the slide, to open the students' horizons through ambition. The school is a high-achieving London school. It's an all-girls school with mixed sixth form. The reasons I did this project, as we have the resources available within the school already, our sixth form had moved from offering some level 2 courses to completely offering level 3 courses. And that meant that we did have a section of year 11s who wouldn't have a place at our sixth form because we didn't have anything to offer them. So we needed to look a little bit more in detail about their routes out, because generally it was, I want to do beauty. And I felt that actually there were far more interesting things out there for them to explore. And also to make sure that our students are taking the right pathways at sixth form. It is an academic school. Most of our sixth form go on to university or high-level apprenticeships in quite impressive organisations, whether it's for accountants or Sky News. So really, it's, in their view, I want to go and do a traditional subject at university, really needed looking at and pulling it apart, and we wanted to do that a bit more within Key Stage 4. Before the project, most of our students stayed into our sixth form, or moved to another local sixth form, or they went to one of the local colleges, not very low numbers really. London South East colleges, our closest one is Bromley College, John Ruskin College, the Brit School, which is reasonably local, and that's to do a mixture, not just performing arts, but that's also art and media. And some went into the private sector. I'm fortunate, well, we work in a borough of highly successful state schools, but there are a number of private schools, and our students are inevitably offered scholarships to those schools, and some of them do go in that direction. Now, this year, because we're sort of in the throes of the end of year 11, so I've had to write a number of references, still most of them want to stay at our school, and that's actually what we want, but we want them to make it a positive choice, or moving to, we're bang next door to a boys' school, with a mixed sixth form, so some of them do decide that they're going to move at 16. But this year, the courses that they're going for are far more interesting. And it's not just the students who don't meet the entry grades. What we found is students are really considering about what they would like to do with their lives, and we have students doing a far greater range of courses. We've got far few of them going into hair and beauty, and I think we've 238 in year 11. So for me, that's actually quite a big success. They have taken on board what we're doing. So in year 10, what we're currently doing now, we get those who we feel would benefit from a careers interview in to see our careers advisor. We have a college visit. Sometimes that's to motivate students who aren't quite working hard enough, if they do want a more academic programme, because the local colleges only offer BTEC courses. So those who do want to follow the academic programme, some of them do need to start working a little bit more. We have a High Flies programme, when this is designed really for student leadership, for those students who are bright, might be slightly underachieving, but who also do seem to lack confidence. And it's really to help them with that. Our careers advisor does run that. And in the summer term, again, there's a real focus on STEM careers. STEM is very strong in the school. We have a teacher who has that responsibility, and it is a focus throughout the whole school. And we also encourage students to get out to see go to either parents or friends in the workplace. Again, it's opening horizons. The project that I was really closely involved in developing is our Year 11 programme. And that's designed through our PSHC days, our timetable days. And the first one is quite reflective. They're looking at themselves, the qualities, skills and attributes, because that's something our students were not really very good at, is saying what they're good at. They are very reticent in that. And so we have a whole day's programme on that. And by the end of it, they've explored the National Career Service websites. They've explored UCAS, because we encourage them to look at degrees, what A-levels you need to do for degrees. And so it really informs their choices that they're making at that point in Year 11. And our PSHC Day 2, which is really the big event, is our Career Skills Day, where it's almost like a conference really for the students. We work with a local community, that is parents and local businesses, national businesses, and then they go on to make their Year 12 choices, which they did in January. So the first PSHC day, as I said, we were looking in detail, what careers could you do? We encouraged them to look at something they might be interested in, but also a wild card career, something they weren't so interested in, or they might not have considered before. The second day, which I believe is reasonably unusual, is our Career Skills Day. And what they were on a sort of rotation, and they had workshops from 37 visiting speakers. We had quite a few talks on apprenticeships, Brand Me, which was quite interesting. What do you offer? It was a seminar on what makes your CV stand out, really. How to make your CV stand out from a crowd. We had CV specialists in about what they could pick up from CVs. Making an impact in communication. That was actually from stand-up comic. And he came in and talked about, his career. He's gone from media to stand-up comedy, and people's responses to him, and useful tips, really, I suppose. And mock interviews. They had 3 mock interviews with a visiting professional based on a real job that had been advertised. It was actually a part-time retail job and something they might do in the 6th form. It was a really successful day. It was a huge amount of organisation. It was very good because it brings people into the school and it makes the students feel that really where they would be in a real world, because our school is obviously quite a protected environment. So this is what the visiting speakers felt from their feedback. We had neuroscientists who said they were very polite, which I'm very pleased about, but they were also very interested and they were very active in learning. They came prepared. One of my main roles was to make sure that they were prepared. Here actually is a list of the companies that we had, and as you can see, it's hugely extensive. So it went from London Fire Brigade. We had a female firefighter who was actually at Grenfell as well, so she talked a little bit about that experience, from accountants to universities, forensic scientists. So we tried to provide them with a range of those, and this is what the students thought, what they said they liked. They were considering careers that they'd never really thought about before, so that was really, really good. And I think this final thing, what they felt they learned, and it's the bottom one that I really like: you should never be afraid to say what you think. And actually giving the students that confidence to be able to do that in a work environment has been such a valuable experience for them. I mean, as there is always things that you would like to do to improve. One thing we didn't quite achieve this year, which was on my plan, was a careers fair where students learned how to work a fair, and they also walked around and talked to employees that they could choose. I mean, that's it really. That's our project. Thank you.